Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. It's Hondian time again, folks. Yeah, they're pen BBSing me these days. Let me tell you, as you may know, Hondian has now come up with a series of N as in Norman, N models, and going from, they have the N6, 7, 8, 9. Recently we saw N10. You saw the two N10s that I reviewed. I now have the N11 that I want to propose to you, and stay tuned because I've got the N12 and I give you a little sneak preview as well. That's my surprise for you guys today. But this is the N11 that I chose. It comes in different geometric shapes, if you will. I chose this green just because I'm fed up of ordering blue and silver, etc. This green is a little bit different. In fact, I'm waiting for my green N10. You saw my reviews of the pinkish red one and the blue, and green one is on its way because that pen to me is a, put it this way, it's a contender for pen of the year. Now, what about this N11? Does this thing overshadow the N10? Is it going to be better or worse than anything else that HONGDIAN has come up with? What about that N12 that I'm going to sneak preview, guys? Is it, do we choose this one or that one? Anyway, these are all the questions my viewers are asking me. So stay tuned for the N11, and you'll see. I've got a little bit of a surprise for you when we do the size comparison. So stick around and stay tuned. Okay, so here we are with the pen. Beautiful HONGDIAN N11. It's got a lot of unique features. I want to review them very carefully with you. So let's dive in and let's see what this pen has to offer. First thing that I want you to look at is that geometric shape and how that geometric shape works with the light. So let me turn on the light so you can see the glitter and the luster that turning that pen, and it's metal, folks. So very, very nice. I will put on the screen the other choices that you have, so that while I'm reviewing it, you'll be able to see that there's different colors and different geometric shapes that are offered. I chose this green one, like I said in my introduction, just because I don't have enough green pens, if you will. And this one combined with the N10 that I just ordered I think is a nice addition. Now, apart from that, you can tell that there is both finials are flattened out. So rather than being torpedo shaped completely, they are flattened. The silver trimming is a little dark, if you will, as opposed to a shiny silver. It's not titanium, but it's a dark colored silver. You can see the finial is just a flat, kind of a smarty look, if you will. Okay. On the other side, the same thing. You have a finial with just a flattened out metal portion there. So that's a nice touch. The clip is also, typical HONGDIAN clip, very stiff but functional. And then you have this beautiful center band. Let me just see if my camera cooperates. There we go. With the HONGDIAN branding, and of course with the N11 number as well written on it. I find that ring or that band gives this pen a lot of character. It's a wide band and it's got an embossed center to it, if you will, that gives it kind of a glitter. And it gives it a kind of an elegant and sharp look as opposed to having just a flat band there. So, these are all additions and little things that HONGDIAN does to make pens, like this one, look so nice. I think it's a very, very nice pen. Now, it is not a big pen. It's a little bit on the smaller side, but nonetheless, let's get into the center of it, or inside. That's one. So it's one turn, which is almost typical of HONGDIAN. It reveals this black titanium coated or colored nib which is the standard Hondian nibs that we see today. It is a fine, comes in extra fine and fine. Again, I would have loved to have a medium, but I think I've got, other nibs that I can swap with this, so I'm not overly disappointed, let's just say. But there's the nib if you want to take a closer look at it, and then if my camera would only cooperate once in a while, here we go. The feed is a plastic feed, but in my view, and I saw this, I think it's on either the eBay site or the Amazon site, they give a description which is a little more detailed than what you see on Etsy or AliExpress, and they say that this is a redesigned feed. I compared it to all the other Hondians that I have, and apart from one recent edition, this looks like the new feed, that new plastic feed that they're using. So it's got a different look. So that's the nib. Now, in terms of that section, again, you would say, steel, but it's got kind of an, lined bevels there or rings to it engraved in it, and it kind of gives you a better grip. But that steel section, to me, is fairly sticky, if you will. So it kind of mimics resin, which is nice. There is a step down here, and it is a little intrusive. You could see that there's this beveled section there. I don't know if that will affect, long sessions of writing, but to me, I don't think so. But you can definitely feel it. But don't get me wrong, I don't want to give the impression that it is sharp to the point where, but you can feel it to the point where it's unusable. That's not the case at all. The threading below it is almost, you can feel it, but it's, again, not intrusive. And if you have a tendency to hold your pen low, it's not a problem. If you have the tendency to hold the pen a little higher, well, definitely you're going to feel some textured beveling and step downs that may affect your writing. But like I said, it's not going to cut your fingers or anything like that. So again, it's not affecting me, but I thought it needed to be mentioned. Now, in terms of the filling mechanism, it is a cartridge converter with the very nice Hondian branded converter. It's got that little ball in there that I'm going to try to get rid of eventually. It is metal, so I don't think that this pen, no, it doesn't, it's not meant to be eye dropped, and I wouldn't recommend it. There is, however, an O-ring there. So when you do tighten this pen down, it stays nice and tight, especially when you got metal on metal. Okay, so that's, it is a good size. Like I said, it is a little bit on the smaller side, and some people would prefer bigger pens, but it's comparable to others that we've seen. Does it post? Yes, it does post. It kind of sits at the top. It's not a deep posting, if you will. But the pen is, for a metal pen, is fairly light. So it doesn't, I don't feel like that it really back weights the pen in any way. In fact, the weight is kind of pushing down on the paper, which is really what you like to feel when you're writing with any pen. So I would say that it is comfortable, and you could see that because the posting kind of is deep into, at least my hand anyway, and doesn't sit on top there. It sits more interior. And if you have a tendency to hold the pen a little higher up, I think this pen is very comfortable posted, if that's what you need or want. Okay, so it does post. Is there anything else? No, I think we've covered the major features of this pen, both in and out. There you have it. Okay, so let's do next. Let's do a size comparison. Okay, so we're back with a size comparison. Here's the subject pen. At the top is the new N10. that I've reviewed for you, and that I recommend you you view my video on the review of this pen. Very, very nice. And I know that my friend Chris Rapp has just put up also his review of the green version of this pen, and he gives you different insights. Very interesting as usual. I invite you to take a look at that video as well, if that's the pen that you're looking to acquire. I've also reviewed this Asvine P50. Very nice, kind of translucent, transparent, demo-styled resin. Very, very nice pen as well. And now we're looking at 3 pens, and you're saying, my God, what are these 3 pens? Now, this one you may have seen. This is the HONGDIAN 231, by which I've not reviewed. I just received this, so I'm looking forward to reviewing it sometime soon. And these 2 pen, folks, are my surprise for you. They're just a preview. I should be posting reviews of these things fairly soon. This is the brand new Asvine P80, which is very, very nice. Brand new, it's just out, so you'll be getting my impressions on it. And this, of course, is, if you haven't recognized this, is and a lot of you have been asking about it, is the new HONGDIAN N12. So that I just received as well in the purple model. A review of that pen would probably come out sometime very soon. So I promise to shed further light on those 2 pens, but that's my sneak peek surprise for you. And when you take a look at the comparison, if we can get back to that, you can see where the subject pen, the N11, stands a little bit bigger than the N12. Girthier, I would say the N12 is slightly girthier, but this is, a resin piston, which is much lighter than this. Of course, this is a little bit of not a monster, but it's a big pen, the Asvine P80. In fact, bigger than other skeleton modeled pens, and we'll be doing a review and a comparison when my review comes out. This is the older model, the 231 of the HONGDIAN, which I find just beautiful, by the way. I'm looking forward to reviewing that one. You could see it's slightly longer than the P50, probably equivalent, I would say, to the N10, although the N10 is a bigger pen than the subject pen. That's capped. And here are the pens uncapped, unposted. As you could see, the subject pen is amongst the smaller ones. In fact, it kind of as small as the 231, but definitely smaller than the others in terms of length. Okay, you could see that. So it is, like I mentioned, it is a kind of a smallish sized pen, but very nice nonetheless. There you have it. And there you have the pens posted. This P80, we'll get into it, but the posting is an issue here, so don't ignore that pen because it's not, as you can see, it moves. It's not a great poster. But you can see that when we post a pen, well, all of a sudden it takes on a different dynamic. It's just slightly bigger, or at least almost the same size as my N12. It's definitely bigger than the 231. I'd say it's equivalent to my Asvine P50, and is smaller, of course, than the N10. And you could see that number 8 size nib definitely makes a difference. By the way, I was asked whether or not we could replace that nib with a Jinhao Model 8 or number 8 nib. The pens are still filled. My pink red one and this blue one are still, it's got ink in it. I'm still writing with them, so I can't do the experiment. But inquiring minds, Chris Rapp, you guys are Doodlebud. You guys are the seniors here. Let us know. Can we replace that nib with another number size 8 nib? Probably not the unit, because the unit is kind of a dedicated, unit. But can we fit in? Because I would love to know. I would love nothing more than to write with this pen with a Jinhao number 8 medium size pen. If you guys don't answer, I'll get the answer and I'll do the experiment. And when I have a chance, I will inform you guys either in a comment or in one of my other videos. So there you have it. I've rambled enough. We'll put up the measurement table and then proceed to the writing sample. Okay, we're back for the writing sample. The ink I will be using is this Verde Rio from the Australian ink outfit by the name of Robert Oster, as most of you know of. Verde Rio is a very, very nice green ink, and most Robert Oster inks are. Just to show you this is my swatch book, by the way. Inkpressions, I think you've seen this before. You can purchase that on Etsy. It's specifically made to accommodate, swatches. Put down the name, and I have a green one for my green inks, a red one for my red inks, a blue, and a yellow, an orange, etc., etc. Different colors for. And this thing I think is going to last me a lifetime before I fill it all up. But the Verde Rio is. Let me just close up. Here you go. The Verde Rio is this one here. I think it's going to be a nice match with this pen. Hopefully we'll see in the writing sample. So that's the swatch that I've chosen, of the ink that I've chosen. As to the writing pad, again, I'm writing these days with this Galen leather notepad with Tomoyo River paper, which is very, very nice, especially in this accessory, that notepad contraption. I don't know what you would call this, but I'm having trouble opening it up. Okay, here we go. I think it's this way. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, folks. And we'll put in my grid template underneath. There we go, because it's a plain size Tomoyo River 52 GSM. So let's get on with the writing sample. So this is the HONGDIAN N11 in the grass green color. And it's in the rhombus geometric shape, if you will, or lozenge, as some have described it. The nib is the HONGDIAN steel black titanium plated number 6. The ink is Robert Oster. Verde Rio. Now, what can I say about this nib? It's, I forgot to mention here, it's a fine, not an extra fine. It's a nice fine nib. A very nice, interesting feedback on this nib. It's kind of, you can feel the writing experience. So I like that. When you have some nice feedback and the pen is otherwise smooth and inky and wet, very nice. You can do some very nice, you can really enjoy it. So I would say that it is a little springy, like HONGDIAN nibs, in my opinion, are. Very wet, very nice. So very constant. I think the lines follow, the feed follows very nicely. And let me just make sure that I'm using the pen properly and that I'm not overly bending the pen, as one of my viewers pointed out, that I was writing perhaps a little more slanted, and there may have distorted the results. There you go. But look at that. Fast writing. You can feel that feedback, but it's nonetheless very smooth. It doesn't stick to the paper. It doesn't. So it's just ideal, I think. So I would say very wet, especially for a fine nib. Feedback but smooth. Good feedback. Otherwise smooth. And very constant. Okay, there we go. Now, let me just move this up for the likes and the dislikes. And dislikes. Okay, the likes. Nib is nice for a fine nib, but I would have preferred if we had the choice of a medium nib. The design and the build quality, very nice, very unique. It's got some very nice features. So again, my hat goes off to HONGDIAN. A little small on the smaller side. Okay. The design and the build, and really, in terms of value, I'll put it up, but it's anywhere between $30 and $40, which appears to be kind of a standard pricing these days. Do I prefer it over my N10? Absolutely not. I think my N10, if I have to choose between the N10, the N11, and my future review of this N12, I would say to you that I would definitely N10 is the way I would go. Would I choose this one over my N12 that I just received? Well, folks, that you're going to have to stay tuned, because I haven't written with the N12 yet. So there we have it. I just got it. That's the value. Will this be a go-to pen? Not really. Too small, and that fine nib, unless I can find a way to replace it for my personal taste, it would not be a go-to pen. But it doesn't mean that I wouldn't write with it, because it is. For example, I've been writing in my 5-year journal that I have kind of ignored for a while, and it's an Obonichi 5-year journal with very small grid, and you got very small, portion of the page to fill in details. So if you're looking for a fine nib to write something small, or if your handwriting is on the smaller side and you need to fill in small places, this is definitely a go-to pen. Personally, I have a tendency to write a lot bigger and wider lines, etc. I don't see this being a go-to pen for me. But there you have it. I think I've rambled enough. Let me just sign this and say to you, thank you once again for joining me. Hopefully this N11 now, my reviews kind of answered some of your questions. I know a lot of you were looking forward to it. Yes, folks, it's out. It's a beautiful pen. No, I got to tell you, those geometric shapes and that luster and dazzle that it gives is something to definitely consider. So enjoy the pen. If you purchased it, enjoy shopping around. And you know what, folks? As I say, it's fountain pen therapy. Ciao. Arrivederci.